Welcome to our Energy Connect studio at GasTech 2022. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Chris Romer, co-founder and CEO of Project Canary. Thank you so much for taking the time out of this first day of GasTech to come and speak to me.
Well, thanks, Julian. It's great to be here. There's a lot of energy here for a number of reasons. And let's be clear, this is a sober time in Europe, given what we're facing. This is a sober time for the planet about energy security. But we also need to talk about the importance of climate change and the way we're going to use ESG as well as the new verified climate insights to effectively clean up the gas industry and help people understand this is the cleanest carbon on the planet, and we need to bring 2 billion people out of poverty with this enormously clean carbon fuel.
Yeah, gas is such a dominant topic, and I'd like to hear a bit more about, Project Canary, 3 years old. I'd just like to hear a bit more about where it started from and where you want to take it.
Sure. Well, 3 years ago, we had this hypothesis that responsibly sourced gas and measurement at the pad level would prove that a lot of unconventional gas, sometimes called frack gas in the U.S., was actually very clean and was worthy of part of the climate solution. Almost now 12 years ago, when I was a state senator, I closed a coal plant in Colorado and converted it to a gas thing. So I was like Joe Manchin, I've actually been a Democrat for natural gas for many years, and actually strongly believe that natural gas can displace coal all over the planet. And so that was the hypothesis why I got into this. And 3 years in, we're pleased that 3 years ago we coined the phrase responsibly sourced gas. Now it's become widely used by many people, particularly a lot of LNG companies. So it's been a fast journey. Sometimes I feel like I'm on a 100-foot wave. I think the wave just got a little bigger with the passage of the US IRA climate bill.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we're here in Milan, in Europe. And as you said, the coin phrase that came up, RSG, responsible gas. How can that help meet the dual challenge of energy and environmental needs for Europe and obviously the bigger world as well?
Well, look, by definition, natural gas is a lower carbon fuel than many fuels we use on the planet. We clearly are on a trajectory to effectively lower our carbon footprint, but we still need very dense, clean carbon to run our economy. We're not going to cut our lifestyles to solve climate change. We're simply going to cut the carbon. Now, the good news is one of the ways to do that is to measure at the pad level, at the molecular level, the environmental attributes of natural gas and other carbon fuels. And we came up with that thesis that actually creating and measuring the environmental attribute of natural gas was very important 3 years ago. And it's played out that way. Clearly in Europe, having just done Eurogas, we're now a new member of Eurogas, we've now done a number of trades with Uniper, ENGIE, and a number of other European utilities. So they have now realized that American unconventional gas is some of the cleanest carbon on the planet, and we're proud of that. And we're proud of the role we played with LNG buyers to use certified gas in their cargoes.
Okay, interesting. And also, how do you feel you're sort of breaking the misconception, that all US gas is dirty, or as you said, people sort of waking up to what, go and get the gas from the US?
Well, measurement is a very good tool. So when you measure things, there is a continuum of the methane intensity. There is a continuum of gas. In some places, gas is a waste product. In some places, it is the product. And what we're helping to do is establish the environmental attributes of both methane, water, as well as ESG, as well as the integrity of how well a well has been drilled. Because each well has a climate legacy, and one of the things we need to do is to make sure we clean up 100 years of extraction, and we're really going at that very hard. So the bottom line is there's some incredibly clean carbon that's ready to come off the US. If you look at the numbers, we need to expand LNG globally by a big number. The US is ready to do that in a very clean way. We'd love it to be certified gas. We'd love it to be Project Canary certified gas.
Okay, well, let's see how it goes. And it'll be really good to just get a bit of an update of the, the Kellas Midstream announcement and just sort of talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you. We're pleased that we now have our first European certification program going with Kellas Midstream. I think they do about 40% of the gas processing for the UK. It's gone incredibly well. I think they're funded by BlackRock, so it's a good partnership between the two of them. Look, I'm very sad given the gas prices in Europe right now. That said, when you look forward down the road, we will be using a lot of dense certified carbon, particularly natural gas, and our partnership with Kellas is just the beginning. We're looking for it. I mean, again, also, we've done a lot of trades with NG and Uniper, so we're excited that many of our producers in the U.S. have been able to evangelize that clean U.S. carbon belongs in Europe. Particularly as we get Europe off Russian gas,
Yes.
we'll have energy security and we'll have responsibly sourced gas and certified gas. Very soon, we're going to have real zero gas with carbon sequestration.
Yeah.
That's coming fast.
Yeah, and I think, Europe is sort of seeing, Putin weaponizing gas, and they've got to just wane off it.
Yeah, look, in life you need to look at having good long-term partners. Unfortunately, the Chancellor in Germany said it exactly right. Russia is not a good long-term energy partner. Europe needs to look to the US, to Qatar, to other places in the Middle East. That said, the certification of gas now needs to go global because the US is going to certify low carbon gas very clearly. The rest of the world is going to be obligated to certify their gas too.
Interesting. And then also I'd like to hear about, expanding either European but also your global markets at Project Canary. You said you now signed this deal with Midstream in Europe and then working with the utilities. So yeah, maybe give me a bit more info of how you're looking to expand and what you're doing.
Yeah, I think most of our expansions will be actually with LNG companies.
Yep.
Where is this happening the fastest? LNG for sure. We already have a significant amount of interest in Asia, some of which we'll be speaking with this week at Gas Tech. And I don't think it's simply going to be U.S. gas, the only gas certified.
Okay.
I strongly believe you'll see Australian gas. I strongly believe that you'll see Middle East gas certified in the near future. Why do I say that? It's another thing that we've kind of coined is this notion of what we call the measurement economy. We're all going to go to a measurement economy on carbon and other environmental attributes. That's basically our business. We measure energy at the pad level and produce the environmental attributes that allow us to trade at that. And the importance of that, Julian, is that will be used to displace lots of high carbon coal all over the planet. And that's going to happen very quickly.
That's good. And obviously you just mentioned there, obviously here at Gas Tech in Milan, what are you looking forward to then, over the next 3.5 days, sort of talking to different clients?
Well, a lot of conversations about certified gas,
Yep.
soon to have a lot of conversations about certified blue hydrogen, and also carbon sequestration. When you really think about it, the measurement economy requires us to measure not just the ledger of the carbon footprint of those LNG and soon to be blue hydrogen cargoes and ammonia cargoes, right? We're also going to have to measure the sequestration so we go to net zero and real zero, and so that's a new world that's coming, and we need to first get to certified gas very quickly in the next decade. We're going to get to net zero and real zero gas products and hydrogen products, and we look forward to being at the cutting edge of that conversation.
Great. And then just finally, Gas Tech's going to go back to Singapore next year. So obviously, Asia market, that's going to be an interesting, see where we are in a year's time.
Yeah, half of our meetings this week are with Asian LNG companies who are trying to understand the certified gas market. And having been one of the companies that helped to create that market, we're looking forward to educating a lot of the Asian buyers on certified gas and soon to be real zero gas.
Great. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you popping down to our studio here at Gas Tech and learning more about Project Canary and all the interesting times coming up. It's going to be busy.
Well, thank you, and we're pleased to be here.